What's up, everybody? This time to wrestle with Suplexus. I'm Suplexus, and today I'm gonna present my review for Backlash 2025, or Backlash St. Louis, or Backlash number 25, 19th anniversary, whatever you want to call it. It's Backlash. So I showed my predictions about 2 days ago. I uploaded them. And we will see how many came true and how many didn't. Overall, for Backlash tonight, I thought it was a good show. A lot of matches surpassed my expectations. Some of them just met my expectations, and some of them fell short a little bit. But with all that being said, let's get started. The first match of the night was a Fatal 4-Way match for the United States Championship. This match to me was, I want to get this out of the way. I thought this was a very good Fatal 4-Way match. Everybody got their thing in, number of cool spots. LA Knight continuing to impress me on pay-per-views. Like, this guy is becoming a underrated in-ring worker, in my opinion. Jacob Fatu, you already know, Jacob Fatu brings that intensity, yada I mean. He brings that moonsault, yada I mean. He loves Solo. But Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, they also added quite a bit that the WrestleMania match didn't have. And based on what happened in this match, because like before, all four people were involved fighting each other, but after Drew hit, I believe it was a Claymore, or was it the Future Shock? I think it was a Claymore. But after Drew hit one of the moves, went for the cover, Damian pulls out the ref, and then they get in a big brawl that results with Damian giving a Falcon's arrow, or what he calls a broken arrow, through a set of tables in the crowd. So that tells me that they are not done feuding yet, and I don't know where it goes, because they had a street fight at WrestleMania. I thought that was a conclusion. Clash at the Castle last year, thought that was a conclusion. So maybe the feud is going for, what that says up there. I know it's not too clear, but Hell in a Cell. Might be a Hell in a Cell match between them to settle the score. Or some other stipulation that's bigger than a normal street fight match. Because I don't know where they could go. Maybe if they bring back King of the Ring, they meet each other in the semifinals or the finals, and that settles the score. But they're still feuding. And we got the introduction of Jeff Cobb. So Jeff Cobb, a little history if you don't know who he is. He was in New Japan Pro Wrestling, primarily wrestling there. Made a few appearances in AEW during like the Forbidden Door season, which is a crossover show. And then he was also in Lucha Underground as like Matanza, I believe his name is. And he was just a beast. Like, that show is like a soap opera. They'd have people get killed. It was kind of crazy, but yeah, he was known as Matanza there, but now he's in WWE, and he is aligned with Solo Sikoa. So the way I see this going, he's with Solo Sikoa. I think Solo brought him in because he figured out that this Jeff Cobb guy is easy to control. He is a controllable monster, unlike Jacob Fatu, who is acting on his own accord. So I think this will build up, and there will be tension between Jacob Fatu and Jeff Cobb, which will probably result in a title match down the line. I don't know if it's Money in the Bank. That might be a bit early. But the end game for this is Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. This is just another piece added to that puzzle where Solo has his new muscle that's going to be blindly loyal, like blind loyalty to Solo Sikoa because Jacob is doing his own thing. So it adds a cool layer. This match did everything that a pay-per-view match should do. It had good in-ring. It set up for the future. Those are the two primary things that a pay-per-view match should do. This hit the landing on both of them. So congrats to all 4 people involved. Do I think it's better than the IC title match at WrestleMania? No, I do not. But it was still very, very good. Now, the next match. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. I shared in my predictions video how I felt about this build being rushed. I primarily talked about that. I talked about how Bayley would be better in this role as the heel chasing Lyra Valkyria because Bayley is a better heel to me than Becky Lynch. You look at her work with Sasha Banks and the Golden Role Models. You look at her work in Damage Control. It all adds up to her being a much better heel than a babyface. However, they went the route of Becky Lynch, turning heel of course, and the match itself tonight, this was like a story of 2 halves for me, this match. The first part, I did not like. It felt like a TV match, simply put. The pacing wasn't too good to me. This was my watching. This was my personal experience. In the beginning, I didn't see much chemistry between them. Something wasn't clicking in the match. I don't know what it was. Sometimes it's like that where I watch a match and something feels off. I can't pinpoint what it was. I'm gonna assume it was they don't have much good chemistry together. Maybe Becky's her singles match back, so it was a little off. But in the second half of the match, they picked it up quite a bit. So overall, I do think that this was a fine and perfectly alright match. But that's because the ending saved it. The ending was good to me. Although the actual finish was a bit rough, but when they started going for the moves, when the turnbuckle pad was ripped off, all of that, it got me intrigued. So they stuck the landing in the end. I would say it's good, alright to good is my rating for it. But it took a bit to get started. So, do I want to see this match again? Am I super excited? I am not personally very excited to see the match, but this was serviceable. It was a positive, not a negative on the show, in my opinion. I am hoping that Bayley comes back, because Bayley and Lyra, I believe it was in February. Or was it March? Would make more sense. Yeah, it was in March. Bayley fought Lyra for the Intercontinental title. They had a very good match on Monday Night Raw. So I'm hoping Bayley comes back, throws herself into this mix, And then maybe we could have some sort of triple threat match going into maybe Night of Champions potentially. I don't think it's Money in the Bank, but maybe Night of Champions. They could all be involved in Money in the Bank to further whatever story they have going on, like Becky, Lyra, Bailey, Money in the Bank. Yeah, just throwing ideas out there. But it was a fine match to me. And now the next one, Dirty Dominic Mysterio taking on Penta. That's Penta. So they wrestled, and of course they wrestled. They wrestled a pretty good match in my opinion. Comparing it with the opener, I'm not sure which one I like more. I think the better match was probably the Fatal 4-Way, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. I loved the spots for Dominic especially, where he hit a Suicida DDT. I haven't seen that since Candice LeRae in NXT probably. Good job, Dominic. That was very good, Dirty Dom. And then they keep going at it. Dom hits Oblivion. Penta, you know how good Penta is. This guy's amazing in the ring. I do prefer him to Rey Fenix slightly. That's just me. But Penta, very good in the ring. These two had a very good match, simply put. And Dominic retained because the second greatest luchador, not the first, because Dirty Dom will always be the first. But, you know, second best, nothing wrong with Silver. El Grande Americano gets involved, not Chad Gable. I still think might be Jason Jordan. There's a really real possibility that it's Jason Jordan, but we'll have to figure that out. Maybe Kurt Angle. Maybe it's what's his face? Maybe it's Hologram for AEW. I'm not sure, but whoever this Grande American person is, they are a very good luchador. So I'm not sure where this goes. There's a lot of things going on here. We have AJ wants a title shot. Then we got Grande making Penta lose, so Penta is still going to want a title shot. So is Grande with Dominic now? Because that would be quite hilarious, especially for when Rey Mysterio comes back. Another variable. And then we have the turn we've been waiting months for. Finn Balor turning on Dom, Dom turning on Finn. That's always been there, but there are quite a few things going on with the IC title, which is very good news to me. So I'm liking where they're going. Feels like Finn, Dominic. I'm thinking that's your SummerSlam match, and then in between, we'll see where they go. Maybe, and this applies to Jacob Solo too. Are Jacob or Solo and Finn gonna cost their friends the titles, or are they gonna fight them for it? Like Solo Jacob, is that a title match or non-title? The same goes for Finn and Dom. Is that going to be for the IC title, or will it be after Dom loses it? Those are the questions I got right now. But overall, good match. And then we get to Pat McAfee and Gunther. Pat McAfee has not wrestled since SummerSlam 2022 against Baron Corbin, known as Happy Corbin back then, when he had that gimmick where he went to Las Vegas and made a bunch of money from gambling. So this match was exactly what it should be. Because most of the time, celebrities come out like your Logan Pauls, your Bad Bunnies. I only named two. There are definitely more, probably. If there's not, you can let me know in the comments that I'm wrong. But, Pat McAfee, the thing I like about this, it wasn't about how many flips could he do. They focus on telling the story, which doesn't normally happen in these celebrity matches. They told a story about his friendship with Michael Cole. Was this the best in-ring match on the show? No. The first three matches were definitely better from a pure in-ring graps standpoint than this one, but the story they told made up for it. The story of Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, their brotherhood, while Gunther's this big looming threat trying to humiliate both of them. They told a really good story, so props to them. And it was really good storytelling. Gunther wins. Goldberg is a looming threat. He will appear somewhere. He's gonna bring his son Gage, and even if Gage likes football, he's gonna try and convince him to watch pro wrestling. But we'll see how that works out for Goldberg. But we're gonna get Goldberg Gunther. They just announced Night of Champions on June 26th, so I'm assuming that's a match for Saudi because they normally like their Goldberg matches. Or perhaps SummerSlam, we'll have to see. But that's where I see it going. And now it is the main event. John Cena versus Randy Orton. This camera person is not involved, but John Cena and Randy Orton. This surprised me with how good it was. Was it good from an in-ring standpoint? No, it was okay. It was passable. This was not... If this was like, let's say, Penta and Dominic, if they had this kind of match, I wouldn't be a fan of it from a wrestling standpoint. But it's about the drama. It's about the story they told. This was enjoyable to me. 3 stars out of 5. And I expected a boring match just like the WrestleMania one. This was not boring. I was entertained. Like, they did start a bit slow for the first few minutes, but that's to expect from a John Cena match. This guy isn't your Io Sky. He's not gonna go 80 miles an hour. Like, it's John Cena, okay? He's been doing it since 2002, which is about 23 years. But the story they told made up for it. I am so happy that this worked, because if their story ended with the whatever match, that would not be good. I think this match they had was better than some of them they had before. Royal Rumble 2014, I enjoyed this more. They've had so many, I haven't seen all of them, but there's one match I remember. This was better. So, this happily surprised me. Then R-Truth, he got involved at the end. I haven't watched the press conference yet, but I saw a video titled John Cena Assaults R-Truth. Oh boy. I am excited to see that after I make this video. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed this. This was a good match to me based on the storytelling mainly. Was it overbooked? Like it says in the thumbnail, yes, this was overbooked into oblivion. but I still enjoyed the match. That's the most important thing from Cena's farewell tour. I am not gonna expect 5-star. Dave Meltzer gives it a 4.75 star match. So that's him giving stars. So I'm expecting something entertaining. I was entertained. This is a good match. If you like John Cena and Randy Orton, if you like their feud, I recommend you watch it. But that's it for now. This has been Suplexus. I am hoping to do some Money in the Bank booking videos coming up. If I don't, here are my card predictions real quick. I think we got Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World title. Ever since Io beat her, the story is right there. She never properly beat Rhea after. Rhea wants her title shot. There you go. Easy. I am thinking we have John Cena defend against CM Punk at Money in the Bank. Yes, Philly Phil, right there. And the last time they fought there, the story was Punk was going to leave WWE with the title. He was threatening to leave. And now John Cena, he's threatening to leave. He kind of flipped the roles there. That's an interesting dynamic to me. That would be a fine match based on what we saw here. And then I'm going to say Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. I think Roman makes his return. Punk fights Cena and Roman fills in for a bit. Those two versus Seth and Braun Breaker. That's where I see it going. And then you have your men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. Those are my quick Money in the Bank predictions. You stuck with me for 22 minutes. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. This has been Suplexus. That is John Cena. That is Randy. That is Drew. That is Punk. And I will see you in the next one. And Solo Jacob. See ya.